Battle control initialized.
Hello there, comrades and cannon fodder. It's Dvoid here. I've got some new games to post. This is a 1v1 on Scorched Earth map, and I'm using Russia. My opponent's using France for this game. This is a rematch, basically, from my last game, which was against the same opponent on Bucharest map. So this is a rematch, basically. And I am at the moment, like I've been describing in my recent posts, that I'm in the habit of sending my first rifles out to scout and hunt for engineers, and I only send 2 or 3 maybe, because I don't want to lose loads of rifles. They are single rifles, but I am hunting for enemy engineers and stuff. If you can take out the opponent's engineer early because they're a little bit lazy escorting him in the initial phase, then you know, you can catch him out, and that will set them back. I've captured my first oil derrick. My opponent hasn't built his engineer yet, so it looks like he's going for a stronger starting force. He's got 13 rifles, I've got 18, so he hasn't, but he's got 2 medics with them. So 13, 14, 15, 16, 17's worth, 17 rifles worth, and I've sent a rifleman here in case his engineer's over there, because I've noticed, obviously I'm guarding his oil derrick, so I've noticed he's not sent anything. But now I've captured the hospital and I'm moving on into his oil derrick. I've seen my opponent has got these rifles here, so I've had to move my guys there quickly and make use of the opponent's, my oil derrick's view range advantage. Now, I'm not actually attacking him at this point, and I'm too close. So I'll move away from the oil derrick, but I did lose 2 men, 3, 4, 5, quickly, because they were wounded. Now I'm down to 2 troops, and he's overrun me there. His medic is healing his wounded troops. You see, the 2 soldiers at the front are really weak, and I'm in control of the hospital, so I've got some healing from that, but his medic's struggling to actually catch up with these wounded guys. If I can get the first shots off, I might be able to. He got a bit of healing there. What is that from? That's strange. Perhaps it was. There, he's capturing this oil derrick now. No, it's not healing. Yes, it must, it's the medic. But I've sent my engineer away. He's capturing this oil derrick. Now I've lost this one, so my opponent's got 1 and I've got none at the moment. So, but I am capturing 1. And I'm using the view range from the hospital as an advantage to hold the middle ground, and I've got my APC with me, so I know I'm in a decent position. I'm just worried about what he's actually got, army-wise. Let's just have a look. 3,900, 2,500, so I've got the advantage. I can see that he's got rocket launchers, but they're not killing my APC very quickly. So I took too much of a risk there, but I drove straight through them. And I'm backing away because he's nearly destroyed. That rocket launcher will finish him. But these are all veterans, and I have a couple of rockets, so I thought I would go and harass his ore truck. Now, my engineer is making his way to the APC, but and I was going to drop him off over here to capture this, because I knew it was safe at the moment, because these guys were drawing all the attention. But they've been sent packing, and now I've placed my service depot. I thought, right, I may as well repair this before I send it away. I've got a group of infantry I'm advancing into the field while this guy's repairing. They can head off now. He'll soon catch up, and he's got the engineer with them. 3,500 army value to me, 3,500 to my opponent now. I'm at 3.9, he's at 3.7. You know, it's our army sizes are growing. He's soon caught up there, and he's using his ranger, but it's nearly destroyed. He hasn't got a service depot. He's in low power. Now, he's not. He's okay now. But I fell back there. I thought, right, I'm not risking it, losing an engagement to try and take this oil derrick when I'll probably, you know, I won't gain much from it anyway, and he can soon take it back. I thought, no, why risk that? And that, so I sent my APC over here to drop the engineer off and capture this one. Because for some reason I saw it wasn't captured, so I've messed it up somehow. I did initially intend to capture it, but for some reason I've fluffed the command, misclick or something, so I realised I've not captured it, and I thought, well, I may as well. So I dropped the engineer off with the APC. Now I had to escort this MCV over here. The APC there is just keeping an eye out, because I know the enemy are over here. They're attacking the hospital. But the MCV needs escorting, but I saw this threat over here and thought, well, hang on a minute, I need to get my forces back to protect my main base. I've still got all my ore trucks and that here. And so I've left a small force, because I didn't know where he was going to attack. I was worried about harassment forces, because I saw light tanks, look, attacking my oil derrick. So I thought, right, and I saw him attack the hospital as well. I thought, right, if he's got harassment forces of groups of light tanks, they can soon attack here. So I was concerned. That's why my primary production is going over here. Now I've transferred some ore trucks, but he's brought he's well known. I know this player, and he's well known to me for base pushing. But that's reckless. And I'm pushing him back here, so that has now drawn his attention over here. So this is more vulnerable. He's got a base defense, yeah, great, and a tank's rolled out, but, you know, that's vulnerable. And that's not... He's usually a lot more skilled at the base push, and he usually does it a lot more aggressively. Perhaps he's changed his tactic again, his tactics. It's been a while since I played him, like I said in my last post. But he's at 12,000, I'm at 16,000. So I'm okay, and I'm pushing to secure expansions. I need these tanks up front. He's got a lovely position, look, his formation. He's got a concave all the way around. I thought, right, I've got to get out of here. And I just happened to have a Tesla coil ready. So it's going to start electrocuting guys. And I wasn't microing the Tesla coil. I was just letting it do its work and keep my tanks in front while these troops arrive and reinforce it. Now I've got barracks. They can start giving me view range bonus. My opponent can't see anything hardly, but me, look at that, the view range bonus from my buildings creeping, and he's being chased by base defences. He's left a tank to harass my harvesters, but their guns are single barrel, like 90mm guns they're called basically. These are two 105s, so that's why it blew it apart. You know, one, it's distraction value alone. And I thought, right, I've got to hit him here because there'll be an expansion getting set up. And look, it turns out there isn't, so I was wrong there. This entire army went nowhere. And I didn't even see this force here that's securing the area, but I sent this small force to destroy his oil derrick. Now, I noticed I'm being hit here, so I packed up my MCV, getting my ore trucks out of there, and he's overrun this expansion, no problem. Look at that, I've had to escape, and he's chasing my MCV. Now I've switched primary production here, and I've got tanks, but I've launched a major attack on his base. He's got no hope of stopping that. I'll just slow it down a little bit so I'm not missing anything, look, and there you go, he's destroyed my MCV by pursuing it with 5 tanks. Now his troops have fallen back here, and my forces are moving into position here, look. Now his tanks are idle. They're only defending themselves to a standard level, like the computer. He's not controlling them. He's told these to fall back, maybe to protect his base, but that's where his attention is. And there's nothing he can do. Look, he's driving them away and that. There's nothing he can do. This could try and escape. Let's see what amount of cash he's got left. None. It's a few hundred. That's nothing. His army value is 5 grand. He needs to run with what... Yeah, it's too late. These guys aren't going to do anything. And I've destroyed that force. I've got a spare army being built. So now the initiative completely lies with me, is in ruins. And that was a nice attack he launched at the bottom. But here you go, is his last contingent of units. And its screening structure has been destroyed. It's just going to get wiped because I've got vehicles and he hasn't. But I didn't want to destroy this. I've ordered my engineer, but I think he's got a long way to go, look. There he is. We'll see when he... There he is. There we go. Now, that engineer's got a long way to walk, look. This poor guy. Is the APC still alive? But I've still got a job to do, look. The enemy drove me back from here, from this expansion, and he's also, like, mining it. So I've overrun him here. I need to finish it. And I don't know, for all I know, he's got a base here. So, and he could be producing units here, and for all I know. That's where his primary production is, here and here, so the signs are there that he's finished. But I'm ordering my tanks to clear out the base defences, look, with shift command. And the engineer's on his way. I've got these guys guarding the refinery, and this is protected. That's a nice amount of ore trucks. You could set up a new base and harvest cash very quickly with that. But he's only got this refinery. That's why these are active now. But you should at this sort of point be looking for engineers and last attempts at, you know, turning the game around. Look out for engineers or Gren drops or Tanya or anything, whatever you have to worry about. Just watch for it. He's called it because I've overrun his last army and his last base. Plus, I've captured that, look. I've captured his refinery, so the engineer made it and captured it. So that was probably one of the last straws. But there you go, he's called it anyway. And yes, what I was saying was I should have primary production here. Because there's nothing defending my base except the tank. I can't build base defences here or anything, so an engineer could have or two could have a field day if, you know, I wasn't watching. So I need to look out for that. That's the sort of thing you need to watch for. And especially at the end when your opponent's losing, they've got no reason not to try something like that. But there you go, there's his last structure gone. And I'll just go through the stats and graphs, basically. Basic stats for you. Look, yeah, there's the army graph. Pretty standard. Earnings graph. Oh, I had a nice earnings spike. Probably when I started to mine this, while these guys went back to that. And this at the same time. Yeah, I've had 3 expansions probably all at the same time. This expansion was overrun, but the enemy didn't destroy it. I got an ore trucks back there and started harvesting again. So they did overrun my position, but I retook it. And that's that earnings spike, probably because I had three expansions going at once. My finishing army, that's like 10 heavy tanks or something. Yeah, looks like about 10. And a decent sized army, over 100 men. I've got 188 kills, my opponent's got 127. I lost 2 structures, but my opponent lost 32. So it was a good fight. It was a, you know, a decent fight. He lost 32 structures, so, you know, he fought and built stuff. Because, like I say, he's known to me for base pushing. So he does end up with a lot of structures and frontline combat, and that leads to losses of structures. But it's a very good tactic, and it helps you fight with your units always screened by buildings. If you're using base pushes, it means your units are fighting under the right conditions. But there's no support powers in effect. I didn't get a chance to build a radar dome. I haven't got my second war factory built yet. His production, I've switched to another refinery rather than getting a second war factory at this point. And let's see how I'm doing for cash. Yeah, I've got over 5 grand and 8 ore trucks, so that's not too bad at all. I earned 85,000. My opponent earned 60,000. Here's basics. I'm at 29 actions per minute. My opponent's at 37 actions per minute, so he gives orders quicker than I do. More quickly. There you go, there's the basic graphs and stats. I'm going to add a second game to this one that I've also just fought just before this one.
Battle control terminated.
Let's have a look. This one, and it is also on Scorched Earth map. So this is another 1v1 multiplayer game. Same map, Scorched Earth. I'm using France for this game. My opponent's using Germany. So we've got France v Germany, allies against allies. and we're placing barracks. Let's see if I'm using my infantry and sending them ahead like usual. No, this time that's my opponent. He sent an engineer ahead first. So let's see if because I sent my rifles ahead. Look, I'm using green this time. So if I sent my rifles both sides, hopefully one of them will catch him. And there you go, it has. That's what I mean. If the engineer's the first one out, a rifle can catch him. Just because, and he was escorted, just not close enough. So I've got a veteran there, and this guy, I sent him over this way to watch for any engineers trained again, but my opponent caught him. So I've backed off with my engineer. He's going to go for this second oil derrick. And yeah, my guy fired first, so I should win this. There you go. And the veteran's joining the main group of infantry, and my opponent's attacking here. He wants a bit of revenge by the looks of it, but he won't get it that way. Trying to avoid the view range, but I've got too much of a strong position, and he's, let's see, he's force firing into the dark, but it's, you know, one rifleman ain't going to do the job, and they're trying to approach without the view range, but they're just been cut down, sadly. My engineer is taken 2 oil derricks. My opponent, nah, he hasn't trained his second yet. 2 refineries each. Yeah, my opponent's got a presence in the centre. He's got the hospital locked down, but I haven't tried taking it yet. I'll be waiting for my scout vehicle, I'm assuming. We're both about to place our war factories. I usually put mine here. Yeah, there you go. My opponent, he's placed his forward. Nothing wrong with that. But what have we got? He's building a power plant. I'm building my 3rd refinery. My opponent's capturing an oil derrick there. Just about to capture his first, because he's trained a second engineer. We've got our scout vehicles. Both of us moving them forward. My opponent's run out of cash. I'm pretty low. 5,800 to me, 3,500 to my opponent in army value, and I've got my tank up front, look, drawing the fire so my infantry can cut down the enemy. And he hasn't taken the centre, he hasn't taken the hospital or his main oil derrick, he's just taken his second one over there. His engineer's backed off, that's good. But he hasn't got the view range from the oil derrick, so I wouldn't put him there. Now, that's it. It's worth doing. If you're guarding it while he captures it, then it'll give him a good advantage. And by me delaying, I'm giving him chance to do this, look. Soon as he kept his engineer back, so he probably assumed I was going to push. But there you go, he's got the view range advantage now. But he lost his light tank. Rangers will give good view range, and my tank is out of position, look. Yeah, I've held him back alright, and now the tank's in position, that's fine. I can press forward now. And he's left his engineer there, sadly. It hasn't got much else to do, but there you go, he's called it away. That's good. So I've got the hospital in the centre. Now I'll move these aside. And my opponent's got like 800 in army value. So what's he got? 4 men and an engineer. Now he's got something else, a rocket soldier. His army value's going up. And I've got an 8,000, 9,000 army value. Excuse me, but there's my second MCV going to my primary expansion patch. You may as well go to this one first. It's often tempting to go to this one or to secure it here because it gives you position close to the centre. But this has just got that much ore. You may as well get it mined and let the 2 ore mines start regrowing as early as possible. that ran into trouble, so it's falling back. And I thought, right, I'm going to get attacked here, but I'll destroy the service depot. He shouldn't have backed away. He could have killed all these guys. I've got no vehicles with them. Now I'm attacking the power plant, and I've got my tanks in position now. He's not in low power, and I saw I had to back away. The turret, I could have finished it off, but it was screening his troops, plus I didn't want to lose my light tank. But we've got a chance to target this ore truck, look, that's handy, and there aren't any rockets, so the light tank is just getting bullets bouncing off. Yeah, it is taking damage, but very slowly, so I can back it off before it's dead. And it's done its job, look. Destroyed the ore truck, killed all his troops. I'm still secured this position, but I've got to get away from that. Hopefully I'll realise what's happening. Doesn't look... yeah, just. Yeah, that was bad. But I've expanded this far now, so I've got these guys and I've ordered them to secure the construction yard. I've got my own base defences and another refinery. And yeah, 15,000 army value to me. My opponent's got a 4,000 army value. So, you know, there's nothing they can do at this point. I've taken too much of a bad start. Now, I've left these here to draw fire and draw the enemy's response while the main part of the force destroys this, and then this force catches up and joins the main attack. But these were to draw his response, while these guys, part of the same force originally, move away and attack elsewhere. Now I'm moving using attack move, so I can destroy his expansion and move away. So I'm not engaging him next to his buildings where he's got superior view range. I'm not sure what he's got. He might bring everything because I intended on it. But it worked, and I've kept these forces alive, overrun his expansion, and he's called it, look. So that's a really useful, effective tactic, and someone used it on me. And I showed it in a post, but it wasn't done very effectively. It was done on this map, but the way they did it, they attacked me here and then retreated this way, moved this way, while they left a small force in position, so it provoked my response, and I sent my forces this way to defend my expansion. But while my reinforcements were going this way, he sent the main bulk of his force to attack down here, so it went up there, that way, and down, while drawing my attention here. So as my forces' reinforcements arrived, they actually bumped into his attack and saw it coming. So it didn't work, but it showed me how much of a very, very effective tactic it is. You just need to attack an area that is expected. Attack his expansion, he'll expect you to, and he'll rush everything he can spare to defend it. So leave a small force there, so it looks like you back off a little bit, leave a small force so it looks like you're still there, draw his attention, and the main part of the army attack somewhere else. So, but the thing is, attack somewhere else, but not so you're going to run into his stream of reinforcements, but attack somewhere that's close enough so that the units that were there are called over to defend your primary attack site here. So attack somewhere that's close enough so that there won't be anything there to defend it, if possible. You know, it gives you a better chance. So say you launch an attack force here, and he sends his units, half his units from his home base, units from here to defend it, then send the bulk of the force to round this way, and then say attack his home base from the top, try and destroy the ore trucks here. So rather than moving down into his reinforcement stream, move this way and attack his ore trucks here. Yeah, that would be effective, and if he did it at the point where he's setting up his first expansion, then he would still probably have an ore truck or two here. And that'd be a basic example of how it worked. But I'll just go through the graphs and charts for you. And what I did was a very basic example of it here, where I drew his response here while the main part of the force attacked south. And you also see his response coming and whether it's chasing you or not. And then you see that's why I attacked move through his expansion, so that I wasn't destroying the refinery and letting them catch up and destroy me while I'm in view range of his building. I just attack move through it and save the force to fight another day. But there's the army graph, look, there you go. Here's the earnings graph, quite even, except I had a nice increase at that point. My finishing army, I've got my light tank, a few medium tanks, and a decent amount of troops. Here's a combat graph. I got 72, killed 72 units. My opponent killed 57. I destroyed 7 structures before he called it. I've got an 18,000 value army, which is not bad for 7.5 minutes. No support powers in effect. Production, I'm building barracks, because you need to build 7 barracks as quickly as possible. I've got 4, 5, 6, so I need my 7th as quickly as possible, and that's 7 minutes 38 seconds, and I will have my 7th barracks. So you want to aim for about that, because I've got 2 expansions set up. After the barracks is done, you need to make sure you've got enough power, and then set up another expansion, and send your MCV with units as you spread out, because your MCV can deploy and place structures to cover your units in battle. And fall back behind structures, let the enemy move through structures. It doesn't matter if they kill a power plant and a barracks or something. If I was defending my base with these units, I'd make them fall back to here, so the enemy could destroy that, and then they'd move through some of them, and the enemy wouldn't be able to make a decent formation here. And it wouldn't matter if you lose a couple of structures, because you'd be able to destroy a whole army doing it. So fall back among your structures when the enemy attacks you. And when you're advancing, bring your MCV and place structures and base defences, and then retreat among them with your frontline forces. But there's my production. I'm, like I say, building my 7th barracks before 8 minutes. Here's the economy tab. I earned 49,000. My opponent earned 42,000. I've got 7 ore trucks. And I've got 3 oil derricks as well. I've got these ones here, all 1, 2, and 3, because I actually captured that one when I was over here with the with my engineer captured it. So there's the economy tab, and basics, actions per minute, I'm at 30, my opponent's at 31, so we're pretty much the same for the amount of orders we gave, 1 every 2 seconds roughly. And there's the stats and graphs for you. And I hope you enjoyed both games. If you like what you saw, give us a sub and a like, and take good care of yourselves, and until next time, goodbye.
Battle control terminated.